Okay, so let's take a look at chapter 1G, number 3. And the idea is that we're going to select one of the 12 basic functions and then manipulate that as we figure out how to graph f of x. So the basic function in this case is x cubed, the cubic. And we'll pick some standard points to plug in. So we'll do -2, which turns into -8. We'll do -1, which turns into -1. We'll do 0, which stays at 0. 1 turns into 1, and 2 turns into 8. So then, if we look at what the first thing we do to x cubed is, well, it turns into x plus 1 cubed, which is the same thing as saying shift it left 1 unit, right? Well, left 1 unit means these x values end up going 1 unit down, right? So now this is going to turn into -3, -8, -2, -1, -1, 0, 0, 1, and -1, 8. Okay, so let me get a new color going. So what we can do now is, well, let's do this. Let's look at what happens when we do -1/2 x plus 1 all cubed. Now when you multiply what we had before by -1/2 in front, that's going to take the y values and flip them and cut them in half, right? So now what I'm doing is all my x values are going to stay the same, but the y values are going to be halved and the sign's going to switch. So this is going to turn into +4 now. And this one will be -2, and then I got to multiply this by -1/2. So that's going to become 1/2. And then the x stays the same, the y gets cut in half and multiplied by -1. This is going to be 0, and then 1 times -1/2. And then -1, and then 8 gets multiplied by -1/2. Okay. And then we got one more thing left, and that's going to be add 4, right? So it's 4 minus whatever we had before. So what that 4 does is it shifts everything up by 4, which is the same thing as adding 4 to the y values. So I'm going to add 4 to all the y values, keep the x's the same. So add 4 to the y values, that becomes 4. 0, this becomes, what, 3.5? And this becomes -1, add 4, that becomes 0. So now I've got my final points right here. Let me shrink this a little bit so it's not in the way of the graph. So I can plot these points. I'll make each of these tick marks worth 1. So 1 and 1. And then I'll plot this in, I don't know, let's go purple. So -3, 8, -1, -2, -3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here's -3, -8. Now I'm not going to label all these. I'm just going to label that one. -2, 4.5, so -1, -2, 1, 2, 3, 4.5. -1, 4, which is right there. 0, 3.5, right here. And, whoops, did I mess something up? Oh yeah, you should be positive. Sorry, my mistake. That's positive, that's positive. So 1, 0, right there. There's our graph.